Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the Friday Night Press Box. This is our North Georgia Friday Night Press Box show. I'm your host, Tim Tao. This is live on Team FYN Sports. I'm Tim Tao, joined by Chris Mathis and Coach Mark Stone, as always, and RJ Casey. We've got a big show today. Benton Burge and Chris Napier is also going to join us. And we'll also talk to Drew Harris, who's the voice of the White County Warriors ahead of the big White County Pickens games, one of the biggest games in North Georgia this week. So we'll definitely be highlighting and previewing that. But, guys, we can't really go any further without talking about the elephant in the room, and that is COVID. It's had a lot of impact on a lot of games. You know, this past week, it seemed like there was a little bit more cancellations, but now here we are Wednesday, and they're creeping up again. Our neighbors to the north in Tennessee and North Carolina, they're being hit hard right now with a lot of cancellations. So, just as a warning, we do record this podcast on Wednesday. There is a chance that some of the games that we talk about on this show could be postponed due to COVID when the time after the show. So we do apologize for that. That's totally out of our control. But, guys, just 2 months ago, we kind of thought we were a little bit through this, that the football season wouldn't be impacted. Boy, were we all wrong. And if anybody wants to go ahead, their thoughts on the situation, go ahead.
Yeah, it seems like everybody, in one aspect or another is having a situation, whether they've been the team that's impacted or their opponent. As you said, I truly felt like coming into this season, there might be one delay or two, but I didn't expect several games to get canceled or, several games to be moved or postponed. And it seemed like after one said, hey, we're unable to play, it was just a trickling effect and just went down the ladder, and it's been real unfortunate. However, at the end of the day, teams have to look in not only preventing spread on their own team at their own school system, but also to the other school systems, whether they be playing a team in another state or another part of the state that they're currently playing in. And then on top of that, you have depth issues too with smaller teams. If 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 guys not only have COVID, but let's say 15 are quarantined, they're not playing that week. You have to call on for, 11, 12 guys to step up, get more playing time. And that was a situation in Blairsville last week in which they were going to have to rely on 12 guys to step up and play ball. And several of those guys were underclassmen, freshmen having to play against seniors. And that's a prime example of a program not wanting to put their kid out there to fail, not only, play bad or look bad on the field, but more importantly, get injured and, miss out on the rest of this season or, even worse, moving on, with their high school football career.
Coach Stone, I mean, what do you think about it?
Well, my big question is, last year football season we fought it all, all year long, but I would like to know some data about, how many basketball games were canceled, how many baseball games or girls softball, what this, it just didn't seem to me like the other sports were as, what am I trying to say, devastated by this as football was. And I don't know if it's getting back into school. I think somebody said a while ago off the air, it's attacking more teenagers now. And, I just, that's the thing that really bothers me. And I agree with Chris, you got to be safe. Got to be safe with the teammates and the kids in the school who's contacting. And you certainly can't go out there and take a ninth grader that's been playing varsity football for 3 or 4 weeks and throw him out there against some of these guys on some of these teams.
Yeah, no doubt. And I can say this, there have been other sports that have been impacted, but obviously with football being played just one game a week, if you have one volleyball match canceled out of the 3 that are scheduled that week, it's not as big of a deal, I feel like, because that team, can play 2 out of 3 matches that week.
It just seems odd. I wish there was some statistics, data, what is this? And I just hope it's not, something that fictitious that we're dealing with.
I thought from the get-go, if a team misses 3 consecutive weeks, how do you make up 3 games? I mean, realistically, I'm not sure there's any way that you could make up 3 games. So I think that magic number is 3. I'm worried if a program does see 3 consecutive games, what the repercussions would be, if they would be able to make up even just 2 of those 3 games.
The SEC is how many people on your team is vaccinated?
Yeah,
I know. I saw the other day where Georgia was over the 90%, and Tennessee was at about 85%. And if you were under that 90%, you were going to get hit pretty hard with that. And I just don't know. Sometimes I look at it as your son or daughter gets up and Mom, Dad, I really don't feel good, and I don't want to go to school today. But at the same time, it could be real.
Yeah, and Coach, obviously we're a little bit older than these high school football players are, these high school athletes, but I feel like we're able to recognize that this could be the last game, approach it in that sense, and I truly hope that these high school football players recognize that and take full advantage of every opportunity, not only to practice, not only to play a game, but just be with their brothers, their teammates, and have a shot to, have fun, win ball games, and more importantly, be in a team setting and, of course, play football.
I agree. And I agree with that. And I go back to what you had to say a while ago. You take a team and take them out of competition practice for 3 weeks. They've lost it all. They've lost everything, and I just don't see. I as a coach, I would worry about trying to restart.
Yeah, it's like Chris said, that 3 games is tough. If you miss 3 games in a row, that's tough to rebound, tough to recover, especially we're starting to get in the region play here pretty soon. Benton, Chris, talk about it on the northwest side of the state. What's going on? I know Chattooga's got a player in the hospital right now as we speak.
Yeah, it broke all on Georgia not too long ago, and then I actually seen the story in the AJC this afternoon. He seems to be doing better at this point. Hopefully he'll make a recovery, but he was and still is in ICU at this moment. This will be the second week that Chattooga has missed games because of COVID or, having to sit out because of COVID or even just being contact tracing. There's only 46 players on the team, and there were 15 plus, close to 20, I think, that ended up having to do the tracing. So that just takes you out. You just can't play.
Yeah, and luckily that we haven't heard too much of cancellations over here on the farther northwestern side. So we hope it stays that way. Everybody do the things that it takes to be safe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's kind of a situation where this thing is obviously going to be here for a while, and we're going to have to learn how to not necessarily fully get rid of it, but how to control it the best we can and deal with it the best we can, so that everybody can get on with being somewhat normal in their lives and everything, and just hopefully get past this rough patch and smooth things out.
Yeah, absolutely. It's you don't like to talk about. I don't like talking about it because I want to talk about football, but you can't not talk about it. It's frustrating. Yeah. It's here to stay. It's like we're going to have to learn to live with it, and like Chris said, take all the precautions we can to be safe with it. I hate it for these seniors, but I hate it for the freshmen too. So I was talking, the other day, I was talking with somebody. They were saying they hate it for seniors. I hate it for the freshmen too. There's freshmen that are out there working hard to get ready for the season.
Mm-hmm.
These guys put in a lot of work. It's. I hate it for the sophomores, the juniors, the cheerleaders, the athletic trainers.
Seniors too with the film. I know Benton and them work on the film and whatnot, and junior year is a huge year to put out film for your coaches, and this is a year that you need to have that film to stand out and separate yourself from the rest of the pack.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and talk about some football. Enough of COVID. Let's talk a little bit of football right here. We're going to talk about a game that was just announced on Sunday about 5 p.m. And we're talking about Fannin at Sonoraville. What a first time ever matchup between the two schools, separated by about 50 miles an hour. Fannin Region 7 AA, Sonoraville in Region 6 AAA. An exciting matchup. Both teams very evenly match. Cal Preps has Fannin, I think, by 10, but Massey Ratings has it much closer. Massey Ratings has it Fannin by 1.5. So this game is going to be a fun game, a good test for both teams as they head into region play. Benton, you were originally going to be covering Sonoraville this week before Chattooga had to cancel. But what do you and Chris know about this Sonoraville football team?
Sonoraville is a team that we saw in the preseason that we had ranked as being able to compete for a playoff spot. They've come out. They've looked better than what we thought. They look really good. They scrimmaged Villa Rica, and they won that scrimmage 14-12. And then Villa Rica Saturday took Rockmart right down to the wire. I think Rockmart scored the go-ahead touchdown with under 2 minutes to play. So this Sonoraville team can play. The defense is better than what we thought they were going to be, and they've got some standouts there at linebackers. They've got Tristan Mullins and Jeb Knight are two linebackers who have really played well so far this young season. So they're going to need to play well because Fannin's bringing some offense that I think they're going to have a problem with Seth Reese. So they're going to need those linebackers to step up. Probably two reasons. Seth Reese, for one, he's a great athlete and he's a great ball player. Two, he's unlike any other running back that they faced in 6 AAA. You'll find a few bruisers, but you find a lot of very compact runners with who are speedsters. And so this is going to be a test for them. It's going to be a real good test for that defense for Sonoraville.
Yeah, you mentioned Jeb Knight. I know I saw some film on him. He had a really good game against Model. I believe he had 8 solo tackles. Very good football player for sure.
He gets after it. He really does.
Benton, you got anything to add?
Yeah, on offensively, Sonoraville is bringing in a new quarterback, head coach's son. But the running back, Zach Lyles, he ate Chattooga up last year for probably 250 yards total offense by himself. He is a weapon that you have to contain him, or you're not going to beat Sonoraville.
And I said, I was talking to Benton the other day. I said, Zach Lyles picked up where he left off last year. I think he had 200 yards total. Against a shutout against Model last week, 100 on the ground, 100 receiving. So you're going to have to try to contain him. He's a great athlete, a multi-sport athlete. This kid can do it all.
Yeah, definitely a good team. Coach Denver Pate, no stranger to football. Been around. I think he played at Berry College, I believe. Was a standout at Pepperell High School. So he knows football in this area, and it's going to be a great matchup. On the Fannin side, you've got the mentioned Seth Reese by Chris Napier, but I think you're going to see a lot of other guys. They're going to have to step up this week. Obviously quarterback David Mashburn. Coach Cheatham's made it known even on this podcast that there's other quarterbacks. And I'm not saying that the job is up for grabs, but there's multiple quarterbacks. Seth Reese can play quarterback. Luke Bry can play quarterback, so a lot of people can keep the Fannin County Rebels can keep a lot of people on their toes with a lot of people that do play quarterback. Defensively, the linebacking core of Waldrop, Kate Sands, and Seth Reese. They're a good bunch. Good bunch. Carson Collis in the secondary, Logan Long on the defensive line. It's a good football team, but this is going to be a great test, and I can't wait for the matchup for sure.
Yeah. You can throw out the computer rankings. When I look at these two teams, everything looks even to me. I think this is going to be a fight to the end. I think you guys are in for a treat, Tim, especially you. You get to call this game. I think it's going to be a good one.
I'm looking forward to it. I'll be on the call on Rebel Radio and Rebel TV. So I am for sure looking forward to that. Also, I just mentioned Cade Sands and Andrew Waldrop. I'm not sure how I didn't mention Cason Owensby, who had a great game against Union County for the Rebels, captain on the defense. He's going to be looking to make plays. It's going to be a fun game. Zach Lyles had, I believe, 197 total yards against Model for Sonoraville.
Yeah.
Seth Reese had 168 total yards against Union County. You mentioned Jackson Pate, just talking about the quarterbacks, Benton. Jackson Pate had 237 yards passing against Model. David Mashburn, 208. Cason Owens, we led the Rebels with tackles against Union with 10. Jeb Knight, of course, 8. There's playmakers all over this field, guys. It's going to be a fun football game to watch. And I'm like Chris. Throw all the computer rankings out. Throw Max. We're just football nerds, so we look at all that stuff. We have nothing else better to do here today.
Yeah.
But we look at it. Coach Stone, when you're going up a team who's evenly matched with you, I mean, what's the best way to prepare? Do you tell your team any different? How do you go about it?
Well, I think you got to try to, I always tried to, whoever we were playing, we just tried to be us every week. And I think this is a great test for Fannin. After I read up on Sonoraville a little bit and stuff like that, I think it's a great test for them because, I'm not saying anything about Union County, but they was off last week, and they, you need to really, toughen up and get going. And I always tried to take this game and let's be us. And I think that's probably what Coach Cheatham's going to be, because it's just another football game, and you can throw out the old cliches of win the turnover battle, team that makes the least mistakes, penalties and all that stuff. And, that's the thing that I always played for. And I always thought these games were your telltale signs of what your football team's really all about.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be a fun game for sure. Before we go to a commercial break, I do want to mention Jackson Davis, the Fannin County Rebel, a senior running back, defensive back, who had to have brain surgery this past week. Very tough emotional moment for all the Rebels. And if you know Jackson Davis, you know what a great kid he is. And he's a great football player, but he's a heck of a kid. And he loves Fannin County football. He loves his family, loves his friends, loves his teammates. And it's tough because Jackson wants to be out there, and his heart, such a good heart. I was fortunate to be with the team and members of the community on Sunday when the team rode up to his house to greet him. And it was a special moment with the family, and it's tough, but what a testament is Seth Reese is now going to wear Jackson's number for the rest of the season, and what a story that is. And I'm going to play Chris. Chris actually done an interview with Jackson, and I want to play that interview right now. And I think it's really cool. And thanks, Chris, for allowing us to share that.
Oh yeah, it was the best story I've ever covered, no doubt.
All that, and going in the shower, taking my towel with me, going in there and turning on the hot water, and I was just washing up and everything, making sure I'm clean. And all of a sudden, I went to grab a soap bottle, and my arm locked, up on me, my right side of my arm, and I lost control and started spinning in circles, and I just blacked out. I don't remember anything after that point. I fell. Later on, Logan had to bust down the door, my brother, and they ended up calling 911. And I ended up not even knowing who they were, the people or anyone around me, for about 30 or 40 minutes.
And one thing that just happened earlier this afternoon was pretty surreal. Head coach Chad Cheatham, the guys, the rest of your teammates, some fans, some friends, some family show up to your house and say a prayer for you and obviously spend some time with you. Talk about that moment and what that meant exactly to you, seeing all of your brothers, your teammates, your coaches, friends, and family out there to support you.
It was really a surreal feeling. It brought so much love into my heart and stuff. It was just amazing. Amazing, all the love that everybody showed. If everybody had just a little bit of that in their lives, the world would be a much better place. Truly, it was awesome. It was phenomenal feeling going through me.
And Seth Reese, your teammate, you had mentioned before we started the interview, did something quite incredible for you. A great player, obviously a great person, and Seth Reese wears number 5. What exactly is he doing for you the rest of the season?
He's wearing my number 23 to support me and everything, and it's really great. I'm gonna have to, if I can get back and be healthy and stuff, I'm gonna have to wear his number to show him support for him. He's by far one of the most courageous and generous people on the team. He's a man.
I tell you, somebody a part of the Fannin County community, it's hard not to get emotional about that story, man.
Hey, when I interviewed him, I was emotional too. When I first saw the news, because I know his grandmother pretty well, his mom and dad as well. His parents actually sold my family our house, and over in Blairsville, and great people, obviously, number one. So I reached out to him when I heard the news, and I said, man, you got to keep your head up. I said, just control what you can control. I quoted Chad Cheatham in the text I sent to Jackson, and he said, yeah, man, absolutely. He's like, just keep me in your prayers. It's still a little bit scary. And I said, well, I'll tell you what, man. I said, when you get out of this and you're good to go and you obviously get back on this journey to success and whatnot, I said, we need to talk and have you on my show to tell your story, because this is one of those stories that needs to be heard by everybody, not just somebody in Fannin County, not just somebody in North Georgia. I mean, this is one of those stories that, I could see on E60, no doubt about it. And when he walks out onto the field before the end of the season or walks out on the sidelines and he's dressed in his uniform, wearing number 5, Seth Reese number 5, that's going to be a story to have back on my show. And that was just surreal when he told me that Seth Reese was going to wear number 23. For anybody to do that, that says a lot. And then obviously you're going to see Seth Reese in the end zone quite a few times. Now, I promised Seth Reese. I texted Seth. I reached out to Cheatham. I said, I need Seth Reese's number. Let me pull up this text right quick. I promised Seth that I would let everybody know what he said. Let's see here. He said, I appreciate it, Chris. It's personal now. You better let people know I'm a man on a mission and I'm willing to sacrifice everything. That's a statement from Seth Reese following the information that he will be wearing number 23 the rest of the season. So he was already a man on a mission. When he told me that, I said, okay, I'm curious to see how this is going to pan out, because I felt like you were already playing phenomenal. So it's going to be real fun Friday night against Sonoraville. And all I can say is look out for number 23, Seth Reese.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's great story.
Yeah,
prayers go out to Jackson, his family, and the Fannin County Rebels.
Yeah, great work there by Chris for sure. We're going to take a brief commercial break. You're watching the Friday Night Press Box live right here on Team FYN Sports. We will be back in just a few moments.
At Circuit World, we offer a wide selection of major appliances, name brands like Whirlpool, LG, Frigidaire, and more. Looking for furniture? Come by and browse our showroom or check out the Endless Aisle, a touchscreen kiosk with thousands of options. Need electronics, gaming computers, laptops, desktops, tablets? We have it all. OLED or QLED, 4K or high def. We have the selection to get you the TV of your dreams. And don't forget, at Circuit World, your credit is always good. So ask about our convenient payment options and 120 days, same as cash. Come see us today at one of our 5 area locations.
It's an opportunity you can't miss. Days Chevrolet in Jasper is stepping up and paying top dollar for your trade-in. Any make, any model. Days wants it, and we're paying top dollar to get it. So, what'll you do with all that cash? Shop for your new Chevy at dayschevroletjasper.com. New vehicles are arriving weekly, or shop from our great selection of pre-owned inventory. Don't delay. Come get cash for your vehicle today at Days Chevrolet in Jasper.
Days Chevrolet. Days gets it done.
Find new roads.
Hey girl, back so soon?
Yeah.
Third time this morning.
Feeling too familiar with the bathroom these days? It's not just you.
Hey girl, look who made it 15 minutes.
At Erlanger Urology, we make it easy to talk about overactive bladder and treatments that work.
Hey girl, you not coming in?
No, I'm good.
Well, okay. I'll be here, because I'm stuck.
Learn more at itsnotjustyou.com. Erlanger Urology.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
And we are back with the North Georgia Friday Night Pressbox podcast live right here on Team FYN Sports. This is our game of the week, White County at Pickens County. We're joined by, as always, when we talk about Pickens County, RJ Casey with Team FYN Sports. And then Drew Harris comes back and joins us again for the second time this season, the voice of the White County Warriors on WRWH. Drew, RJ, first of all, thanks for joining us. Drew, how you doing today? How's everybody in White County?
They're okay. First couple of weeks was kind of tough, but ready to try to get that first win maybe this week and see if we can close out non-region play on a high note before we get into region play in a few weeks.
Absolutely. Before we dive into the game, RJ, I want to ask you briefly about last week. Pickens was supposed to play Chattooga. That didn't happen.
Yeah.
Rumors about lots of other teams. It didn't happen. Commerce comes open. Commerce, who at the time was the number 5 team in single A, they make the trip up to Jasper. Tell us a little bit how it went.
Yeah, it's crazy. This past Friday marked 15 days since the Dragons played their scrimmage game against West Hall. And in that time, they've had to get ready for 3 different teams in like a week and a half. First, they had to get ready for Gilmer. That one gets canceled. Then they were getting ready for Chattooga. That one gets canceled. Then on the same day, the Chattooga game gets canceled. We're trying for a game, maybe with Fannin, we heard, but then here comes Commerce, and that came about fairly quickly. I heard like within an hour that was done, and Commerce was coming up here to Jasper to play, and it was electric on Friday night. The stands were packed. Obviously, the kids were ready to go. They opened up their season home opener, taking on a really, really good Commerce team with a lot of history behind them. And as far as Georgia wins in high school football and all that stuff, and they came out, and I talked with Coach Myers after the ball game briefly, and he mentioned it. They scored 37 points, and he said that they did not play up to their full capability. And I can tell you that he's right. They definitely left some points on the board, and they had probably way too many penalties in for Coach Myers' liking, and they're gonna have to clean that up this week and all that against.
Hey, RJ,
a
real
White County
quick, I
team
have
that,
Coach Myers' interview. Let's play that interview right quick.
all right.
Dragon fans, RJ Casey here for Team F1 Sports with head coach Grant Myers of the Pickens Dragons. Coach Myers, you just got your first ever win as the head coach, 37-8, over a really good Commerce team. Coach, how would you assess the ball game tonight?
We didn't play anywhere near what that we're capable of, but our kids came out and played hard, and they competed. They came out, and here's the thing: the uncertainty of everything is a testament to our kids and their intestinal fortitude right there. They did a great job of just controlling the controllables like we talk about on a weekly basis and coming, and it didn't matter who the opponent was. They were ready to go to work. That's a testament to those kids. That's a testament to these coaches on this staff. I couldn't be any more proud of them. It's a great night to be a Dragon.
It certainly is. We look forward to many more wins. We'll see you next week. All right, Dragon fans, RJ.
And that was Grant Myers getting his first win. First of many wins for Grant Myers at Pickens County. Go ahead, RJ, with the rest of what you were saying.
Yeah, like he said, they didn't play up to their full potential, he thought. But I thought they played pretty well. Defense did fairly well against a team that runs the triple option type offense and only really having a day to get ready for it. They only allowed 157 total yards and one touchdown and a 2-point conversion. And that was in the third quarter. I tell you what, Sam Stryker played pretty well. Devin Hand played pretty well, but player of the week obviously has to be Caden Hampton. Caden had 3 total touchdowns on offense and 22 total tackles on defense and a sack. He was Mr. Do-It-All on Friday night, and I'm really looking forward to what this team can do against the team that they've had quite a bit of a back and forth the last few years with White County.
Yeah, and we'll talk about Drew more about White County. Drew, obviously White County coming in at 0-2. What do you think their mindset is coming into Jasper on Friday night?
Well, it's still trying to feel their way out offensively, trying to figure out something that's going to work there in that quarterback position. I've had some flashes of good play at times there, but they played a really good first half against Stevens County the first week and just kind of ran out of gas. Had 7 or 8 players go out with cramps in the second half of that one, and then last week started out well against Hart County. Actually took the lead, and but just again wore down a little bit. Hart County, a good team, obviously one of the better teams in Northeast Georgia, and I think the thing for White County is just trying to finish some drives. They actually got inside Hart County's 40-yard line, I think 8 times Friday night. Only came away with the 2 touchdowns, had 1 turnover, and then 4 or 5 turnover on downs. I can't remember, but just one of those things where they need to try to finish when they get into some short yardage situations, when they get into an area where they might be able to kick a field goal. Got behind a little bit too much early to be able to do that Friday, but they've shown flashes on all phases, special teams. We've done some good things on kickoff return. Defense has been able to work up, some big stops and some turnovers. And the offense has had some good drives at times, just to, right now trying to figure out how to put it all together for 4 quarters. And, the first 2 opponents obviously made it tough. Stevens is very good. Hart County is very good. And obviously Pickens is going to be another tough challenge. But I think as the season goes on, hopefully White County will find some continuity there.
And Drew, you talk about, you see some ups from the offense and the defense. Point out 2 or 3 guys on both sides of the ball that not only Pickens County fans should look out for, but White County fans should look out for this Friday night.
Well, on offense, it starts with Silas Mulligan. He took a lot of snaps as the quarterback, sort of a wildcat look there. He did throw it a little bit, but he is, kind of the go-to guy, the great runner. Had up over 100 yards against Stevens County, and he's kind of the main cog there. He wears number 6. Number 11, Darius Cannon. You got to watch out for him no matter what. He plays offense. He plays some defense. He had an interception last week against Hart County. He had a kickoff return for a touchdown and a receiving touchdown against Stevens County. So he's kind of all over the place. And Bryson Chronic, another guy that plays both ways some in the secondary and on receiver. Zion Mcmullen, another guy that runs the ball, plays a little bit of linebacker. Just these guys. And I think that's part of the issue right now is we're to get all of your best guys on the field in the right spot. Some of them are having to go both ways. A lot of snaps. So. I think as we go on, the stamina is going to work up a little bit more for them. And
isn't it time we thank our eyes?
Both sides of the ball really need those guys at times, but they're trying to figure out a way to create some depth there to give them a blow every now and then.
RJ, you talk about the guy that really dominated on defense and offense, the 22 tackles. For the Dragons last night, win. And Grant Meyer's first win as head coach of the Dragons. Talk about a guy to look out for on both sides of the ball as well for Pickens, as Drew just gave the answer for White County.
Yeah, I mentioned him briefly. Devin Hand, first team All-Region wide receiver last year, plays DB as well. He'll go up against probably the top receiving threat for White County on Friday night. He's a guy that can get it done both ways. He had well over 150 yards of total offense last week. He can get things done. There's also Caleb Taylor and Caleb Nicholson, 2 defensive tackles, defensive ends for the Dragons. They'll come in, they'll do their thing on defense, but then they have a package for them on offense, where they bring in their quote unquote their big boys and get that done on offense. So it's gonna be interesting to see how the Dragons do it offensively, because they have a package for Hand where he comes in under center.
Today.
And Striker will split out wide, and we'll see if they can throw in a wrinkle there. They got some kids that are just eager to play, and I'm excited for it, and I'm excited to go up against a team like White County.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun for you guys, and hopefully a real competitive matchup, and everybody's able to come out healthy, more importantly than anything, obviously with COVID. I mean, that really plays an impact when guys are quarantined and the next guy has to step up, or somebody didn't practice all week and here they are kind of thrown into the fire. Really, team health is really at an all-time high right now, importance and how valuable it is. I feel like this year, more than any other year, if a team's somewhat on the same rank or same level as their opponent, it could and very well may come down to which team is healthier and which team has had, more practice time with their starters out there.
Yeah, and I think, and Coach Stone, you can add on to this too. It's I want to go back to what you said though, Chris. You're playing teams that are evenly matched, and I think that's great that they're doing this because, like, for example, going back to Fannin Sonoraville, it may be a while for both teams get to play, guys. I mean, we don't know. We really don't know. But Coach, yeah, talk about what Chris was talking about right there.
Well, I was going to say to Drew, White County, this is a pretty good schedule they've opened up with for 3 weeks.
Gauntlet.
I mean, you can't go Stevens, who else?
Hart County. Yeah.
Hart County.
Right.
And Pickens, boom, boom, boom. And, somebody may have some concerns, but I think it's making your football team better. I really do. When region comes, it may be an entirely different football team. And, it certainly sounds like that. But, Hart, ain't they picked up there pretty high in AA, AAA?
Yeah, they've been a top 10 team perennially.
Right, perennially.
AAA, and it was a battle last year. White County beat them over there as a top 10 team, and ended up being the team of the week with Georgia High School Daily. And they compete for not just region championships over there. They want to go deep. So, and it's not the best of schedules if you're having to try to work on some things, but at the same time, like you said, Coach Coakley's told me many times, the real season starts in a few weeks when region play starts. He didn't want to schedule a cakewalk through non-region. He wanted to play playoff caliber teams first 4 weeks, see where he's at, and that way they get a bye week before region play starts. They know what they'll need to work on. And as you said, last year it made the team better, and I think we'll see it this year as long as we can stay healthy.
Right.
We'll see that again this year.
Yeah. RJ, is this Sam Stryker's 6th or 7th year?
No, this is his brother, Coach.
It's actually his second. He's
second. Okay, so they have been there about 6 or 7 years.
Yeah, he's a sophomore. He's a sophomore, younger brother of CJ Stryker. CJ is one of the better athletes to come through Pickens in quite some time. So
what a player he was.
Yeah.
But Sam's pretty cool with me because he's a fellow lefty. So
yeah, you guys have that connection, right?
I kind of look forward to these type games when I go on AJC on Friday night, and that's the games I'm looking for. What happened at with White Pickens? What happened there? Rather than White and somebody else that's never won a game or whatever.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's real competitive. It's really up for grabs who wins this one.
Well, and I want to say this too. A lot of people may not know this. I was looking this up. Pickens and White County. This has been the third most played matchup in White County football history. This will be the 47th meeting. White County's only played North Hall and Lumpkin more times. And was a little surprised that when I started diving into that. And the series is 24-20. White County has the edge, and then there's been 2 ties. So this is it's always been a fun matchup. I thought we've had some really good games.
I remember the history with White County because we used to all be in like the same region together.
Right.
Like it was us, it was Gilmer, it was Fannin, it was all them, and then they lump us all in with the Gainesville schools for some reason.
Well, I coached here at Fannin, and I remember, we would have White 1 week, Pickens the next, and Gilmer was loaded to the bear, and then we'd go to East Hall and West Hall, and there a couple of years, Buford was in there with us, and it made some young boys grow up to be men in a hurry.
Yeah, Coach, and you had to coach against Buford and Isaac Nada and all those guys.
That just wasn't. I remember one night I was calling the plays, and I was talking to the guys upstairs, and I said, "Well, what do you think?" And they said, "There's nothing on this play sheet that's going to work." You had kids going to Notre Dame, Georgia. You had kids going everywhere, and but that was part of it. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that part. I can say, and my sons can say, we played against some of the best teams in the nation.
No doubt. So, Drew, I want to thank you for coming on. Hey, real quick, tell everybody how if they want to just listen to you on the radio, tell everybody how they can listen to you Friday night.
We're on 93.9 FM in Cleveland. We stream online too, WRWH.com. We're also on the TuneIn Radio app. So several different ways to get us. We go on the air at 6 o'clock. We do a tailgate show. We're on the air an hour and a half before game time. We cover it all. So we're kind of like what you guys do here. We talk about other games. We talk some college football. We pick some games, and we do some interviews with coaches. We have fun with it. So
oh man, that's awesome.
Tune in. So
that's awesome.
Yep.
Well, Drew, thanks for joining us, buddy. As always, we really appreciate your time.
Absolutely.
And hey, and get better. Get that arm.
Oh yeah. That's right. Hey, that
Hit the
way
clipboard.
My partner set up all the equipment Friday. So
Now, special shout out to Drew. He calls me about 4 o'clock. He said, "Hey man, I'm on the way to the hospital. I may not be able to come on. I've hurt my arm on the farm, but hey, he's a warrior. He's a warrior.
Oh, he is a warrior.
Yeah. He's a warrior. And he came on the show. So
hey, Drew, that's on-air content right there Friday night.
There you go.
That hand's throbbing right now. That hand's throbbing right now, and he's got a smile on his face.
I've taken some medication, a lot of pain medication.
warrior of the week for sure. But
hey guys, anytime.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Drew. We'll take another quick commercial break, and we'll come back, and we're going to preview. We're going to talk about some of the regions that we cover and preview those regions. It'll be a great time. Region 7AA, 8AA. Just briefly go over standings and games for that week. We'll be right back.
At Circuit World, we offer a wide selection of major appliances, name brands like Whirlpool, LG, Frigidaire, and more. Looking for furniture? Come by and browse our showroom or check out the endless aisle, a touchscreen kiosk with thousands of options. Need electronics, gaming computers, laptops, desktops, tablets? We have it all. OLED or QLED, 4K or high def. We have the selection to get you the TV of your dreams. And don't forget, at Circuit World, your credit is always good. So ask about our convenient payment options and 120 days, same as cash. Come see us today at one of our 5 area locations.
It's an opportunity you can't miss. Days Chevrolet in Jasper is stepping up and paying top dollar for your trade-in. Any make, any model. Days wants it, and we're paying top dollar to get it. So, what'll you do with all that cash? Shop for your new Chevy at DaysChevroletJasper.com. New vehicles are arriving weekly, or shop from our great selection of pre-owned inventory. Don't delay. Come get cash for your vehicle today at Days Chevrolet in Jasper.
Days Chevrolet. Days gets it done.
Find new roads.
Hey girl, back so soon?
Yeah.
Third time this morning.
Feeling too familiar with the bathroom these days? It's not just you.
Hey girl, look who made it 15 minutes.
At Erlanger Urology, we make it easy to talk about overactive bladder and treatments that work.
Hey girl, you not coming in?
No, I'm good.
Well, okay, I'll be here, cause I'm stuck.
Learn more at itsnotjustyou.com. Erlanger Urology.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
Welcome back, everybody, to the North Georgia Friday Night Press Box Podcast live here on Team FYN Sports. We're going to kind of end the segment here in the show talking about a few different regions that we cover as my phone rings on the air and having a hard time getting it turned off. And It's actually our Team FYN sports director, Jake West, calling me. We'll get to Jake here in a little bit. But let's talk. Let's dive in and get Chris involved here with Region 6 AAA. His North Murray bunch is finally playing,
Yes.
But they originally had it scheduled for this day. So, hey, Chris, I'm going to give this segment to you. Talk about North Murray, who they got, and we'll dive into some of these other 6 AAA games.
Yeah, so they started the season later than everybody else. I mean, they had 2 bye weeks to start the season. They will begin over at Northwest High School against a team that is pretty similar. Both of these teams have one of the top QB wide receiver combos in North Georgia. Northwest, you got Owen Brooker to Ray Morrison, and at North Murray, you got Seth Griffin to a guy named Michael McDade, who I think is a phenomenal athlete. You'd have to check him out. So I think the battle here could be won on the defensive side of the ball. Who gets the most stops and puts the ball back in the hands of their offense?
And Napier, also talk about the 2 quarterback to pass catcher duos that you have. What are the similarities and what are the differences between their games?
They're both underclassmen. They're both juniors. Seth Griffin is a big quarterback, big arm. He's coming in at 6'4". The guy is very talented. Michael McDade and Ray Morrison, the two receivers, they lead their team in receiving, and they are both big targets. I think Morrison about 6'2", and Michael McDade's around 6'4", and he moves phenomenally for a 6'4" receiver. Got a lot of speed. The only problem is they play on a grass field. That may come in, in the factor. That we've had a lot of rain this week, so it may slow some of the speed guys down a little bit. So that may be a factor in the game. We're going to have to look at it game time and see if they're going to be slowed down any.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I'm curious to see how they'll be able to handle, their opponent putting their number 1 defensive back on them, if that's just going to shut down that offense, as you said, or, if they're going to be able to work it, or if that receiver is going to beat that number 1 DB.
Oh, there is plenty of playmakers on both sides of the ball. Northwest, they'll feature running back Adrian Reyes, where North Murray, they'll feature multiple backs and multiple receivers. So there's plenty for Owen Brooker and Seth Griffin. There is plenty of playmakers to spread the ball around to. I look for this game to be much high scoring than it was last season. I think last season was a 20-10 game. I look for this to be, who knows? I mean, we could be up in the 30s.
Yeah, like 42-35, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I really look for some plays to be made here Friday night. It's going to be exciting. I hope it's just as exciting as the last time I was at Northwest.
Well, I'm glad you're getting to see North Murray team, Chris. Everybody else is. Well, mostly everybody's got to see their teams play, so I know that means a lot to you. So let's talk a little bit more about the region. We've got Gilmer, Murray County. We were going to highlight that a little bit due to time constraints. We're going to briefly talk about it, but I actually got to see Gilmer County and Ringgold in person last week.
Yes,
and I was so impressed with Gilmer County. Gilmer County, it was 14-8, and they were actually going in, driving, fumbled the ball at the 20-yard line to take the halftime lead. It was a scoop and score by Ringgold the other way, and Ringgold won 35-15. But let me tell you something, guys. The score was a lot closer than what the scoreboard indicated. Paul Standard is doing a great job with these guys. These guys are very well coached. They're very well disciplined. And if Gilmer County gives them enough time and Standard gets the kids to come out, I truly think Gilmer County could be on their way back up. And I like Gilmer County. I'm going to say it right now. I like Gilmer County by 2, maybe 3, possible 4 touchdowns this week. I'm that high on this Gilmer County bunch against Murray County this week.
Yeah. Well, if you look at Murray County's game last week against Southeast, dive into the stats, you'll see that Southeast had 300 yards rushing and controlled the ball for over 30 minutes. So where Murray County struggled with a little bit last week is everything that Gilmer is. So Murray County is going to have to come out intense on that defensive side of the ball. They're going to have to create stops and get that ball back into the hands of Justice Knotts, their quarterback. And, and you have to think about it. Every time you get a stop, you create an opportunity for a kid named Taylor Carroll who played an outstanding game last week. He racked up all kinds of yards. None bigger than the special teams plays that he made last week, returning kicks and kickoffs. So that's something Murray County is going to have to come out fired up defensively to stop that Gilmer offense, because they'll just march right down the field and keep the ball away from you if you let them.
Yeah, another game that's on the docket, Ridgeland Ringgold, correct? Is that game still going on?
Yes, as far as I know, I haven't heard anything. Ringgold played over at Gilmer last week, and they may have looked a little flat, but Ringgold had just found out their biggest rivalry was with Heritage, and that was who they were going to play. That was canceled. So they prepared all week for a team like Heritage, and then to come out and find out that was canceled and you're going to play Gilmer. That had to be kind of a letdown right there, I would think. And you only had a few days to prepare go from preparing for a team with a spread offense to a team that runs a triple option and is 90-some% run. So that had to have been tough. So that's some of the circumstances I looked at. With Ringgold, they look pretty good. I mean, the best way I used to explain that was it was just a solid win for Ringgold. So they're going up against Ridgeland this week, who has a tough schedule. They got a win against West Forsyth in their first game, but they ran into a buzzsaw with Dalton last week. I think it was 49-0 at half.
Yeah.
So they've got a tough schedule. They've got Calhoun, Cedartown, Pickens, Northwest, and Cass still on the schedule, and Central. So they're looking at this Ringgold game as we need to get a win here. The problem for them is this Ringgold team, I think, is really good, and they're looking for a breakout game. I think it could be this game. I think we see a huge offensive breakout performance for Ringgold here. So I really like their chances here against Ridgeland.
Absolutely. We've already talked about Sonoraville Fannin. At the time of this podcast, Gordon Lee and Lafayette will actually be playing. So, and that's a very close game. But we all love the computer projections. But I think it's Cal Preps has Gordon Lee and Lafayette as even.
Yes, and Lafayette's defense has been very surprising in the scrimmages, and in their first game holding Model to 10. So I think this is going to be a very low-scoring game. Lafayette's big thing, they're going to have to get that run game going. They've got a great offensive line to run behind. I love their two guards play. Dakota Catlett and Coy Pendergrass, two big guys. And they're not just big guys, they're big athletes. These guys can pick them up and put them down. And, the feature of that run game is Jalen Ramsey. Another guy that I think they would that they need to get going is an athlete named Trey Taylor. I think he can have a big impact if they get that run game going, get the offense to rack up some yards and put the ball in the end zone. They got a shot here against the Gordon Lee. But I watched Gordon Lee play last week, and they look pretty tough. They shut out LFO 21-0. So I think this could be an even matchup. Both defenses have played above what we thought they were going to see.
Yeah, absolutely. We briefly talked about Sonoraville and Fannin, so that'll be the Region 6 AAA wound up right there. Real quick, we will talk about the Region 7 AA games. Benton, Chris, you can chime in on these as well.
Yeah.
But not a real big week in Region 7 AA. Obviously, Chattooga dealing with COVID. We've got Gordon Central, Southeast, Model Trine, Armuchee Coosa, Pepperell Bremen, and Sonoraville Fannin.
Yeah, a couple interesting games there, but I'd be remiss if I let 6 AAA talk go by without talking about the Cahoula Creek team.
Oh, yes.
That's 2-0. 2-0.
How do we forget about Cahoula Creek?
They are off this week, but first time ever being 2-0. I mean, all kind of first. So they got it rolling at the Creek.
We mentioned y'all talked about on your scoreboard show. Vic Grider's there now, and Coach Stone. I know you're very familiar with Vic Grider, making a big impact there with Wilson there.
Coach Wilson is. I was just going to ask: is Coach Wilson still there?
Yeah, he's the head coach, and Vic is the assistant head coach.
I tell you what, they've got two coaches. If they got some athletes, or those two guys can put it together, right? And I'm not surprised at all.
I wasn't surprised either. Everybody else was.
Chris called it. We did a little game preview podcast. He called Cahoula Creek upsetting Northwest and beating obviously Southeast. Was it Southeast?
Yeah. That Vic Ryder defense, they're tough. Everybody, I think they were looking at where they were as a team. And I was watching film and, going to watch them play, and I was looking at where they were at, and they're a totally different ball club. So they're pretty good. And I'm happy for them. They got those wins, man. I mean, they are a program on the rise.
But that's what I've said. When those two got together and I found out Coach Wilson was the head coach, I said that you'll be hearing some things out of Kahula Creek.
Yeah. Oh, and we are. Hey, next week, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but next week, Kahula Creek, Rockmart.
That's going to be a tough one. I'm still going Rockmart there. They've got too much firepower, man. I would love to see Creek come out with some intensity and play tough and make that a close ball game, because they can. I mean, so.
But my main point is last year we wouldn't have talked about that game.
No, we wouldn't.
No.
This year we're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about it. So.
Yeah, next week we need to talk about that.
But thank you guys for joining us. If you're watching this, please like, subscribe, comment, share this with us. And we're just thankful to be talking about high school football. Everybody on here loves high school football for sure.
No doubt. Thank you guys.
Right.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Once again, this is the Friday Night Press Box on Team FYN Sports. Have a great weekend. This podcast will be available on all podcast apps, Twitter, Facebook. So all along. Have a safe and happy Friday.
At Circuit World, we offer a wide selection of major appliances, name brands like Whirlpool, LG, Frigidaire, and more. Looking for furniture? Come by and browse our showroom or check out the Endless Aisle, a touchscreen kiosk with thousands of options. Need electronics, gaming computers, laptops, desktops, tablets? We have it all. OLED or QLED, 4K or high def. We have the selection to get you the TV of your dreams. And don't forget, at Circuit World, your credit is always good. So ask about our convenient payment options and 120 days, same as cash. Come see us today at one of our 5 area locations.
It's an opportunity you can't miss. Days Chevrolet in Jasper is stepping up and paying top dollar for your trade-in. Any make, any model. Days wants it, and we're paying top dollar to get it. So, what'll you do with all that cash? Shop for your new Chevy at DaysChevroletJasper.com. New vehicles are arriving weekly, or shop from our great selection of pre-owned inventory. Don't delay. Come get cash for your vehicle today at Days Chevrolet in Jasper.
Days Chevrolet, Days gets it done.
Find new roads.
Hey, girl. Back so soon?
Yeah.
Third time this morning.
Feeling too familiar with the bathroom these days? It's not just you.
Hey, girl. Look who made it 15 minutes.
At Erlanger Urology, we make it easy to talk about overactive bladder and treatments that work.
Hey, girl. You not coming in?
No, I'm good.
Well, okay. I'll be here, because I'm stuck.
Learn more at itsnotjustyou.com. Erlanger Urology.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.